All right. Well, good to be back. Everybody made it back Sunday night. Guys had a couple days off, which was good for them. Coaches got a chance to get on the road and recruit, which we needed, and that all went very well. Last week's schedule, we practiced 3 times. Got a chance to really look at some of the fundamentals that we had to work that week, and so we got a chance to work on some of that during those practices. Obviously got to work on New Mexico during that time, and we'll continue with our normal schedule this week. But everybody's excited to get back and get back to work and get ready for this Saturday. A couple things you guys saw on Twitter today. So there is a special that's going to be on Wednesday, and for half-price tickets, which I think is extremely important. And take advantage of that. We do want to pack Albertson Stadium, have a great crowd. New Mexico last year, I think everybody remembers that game. It was back and forth, and they played extremely well. We played well to stay in that game, got behind, kind of had to dig our way back out into the fourth quarter, and it was a ball game. And both sides played very well. You know, no different this year. These guys are very good. They got great team speed. They're well coached. Coach Davies in his 4th season there, and just beat a very good Utah State team at their place. So, you know, for us, we have some experience from last year playing against these guys, but they are better, a little bit different defensive scheme than they had last season. But you can see that these guys are getting better and have improved throughout the year. And hopefully the bye week with the extra prep, you know, some of our guys having a chance to take a few days off and ready to get back this week, we'll be ready to go on Saturday night. And we'll take it tomorrow in practice, and each day moving forward, one day at a time until we're ready to play on Saturday. So with that, open up for questions.
You're kind of preaching the 1-0 thing every week, but you know, you needed some help to happen, and you got some help. I'm just wondering your reaction and kind of the mood around here, knowing that if you guys go 1-0 for the next 3 weeks, you have a chance to achieve your goal.
Honestly, the mood hasn't changed from that standpoint, because we believe that if we keep doing what we're doing and stick with that mentality, that we would put ourselves in a position to have a chance. And it's come a little bit earlier, but the mindset hasn't changed. So we're focused on New Mexico. That's what it was last week. Before this weekend happened, that's what it is this week. And that's really all we can control. I think we've seen in college football, you know, when the rankings come out, and I think there was 5 teams that were undefeated that got beat this week. And that's the one thing. It's hard to win all your games. Don't know if that's going to happen for one team this year. It's very difficult to do that. But it all comes down to just what you can control, and that's what we can control is what we do this week against New Mexico. What happened, happened, and the only thing that we're concerned about is how we go play on Saturday against a team that, you know, we battled last year, and our guys know that. We respect this team, and we got to be able to come out there and play better than we did last year.
You mentioned the bye week. You kind of get you guys healed up a little bit, but also the fact that it kind of fell before you played New Mexico and Air Force, those option teams. How fortuitous, I guess, was that for you guys to get a little more preparation there?
I don't know. I would have taken the bye week earlier, to be honest with you. You'd like to have that probably mid-season and so on, but I don't know. You know, that remains to be seen. That we really don't know that until we go play, and we won't know that until later on Saturday night, you know, and see what happens.
I don't know if it was just coincidental or not, but after that Utah State game, were you a little bit fired up because there was an attack the future tweet, and then on top of that, just with the bye, you know, you've been without 4 of your defensive starters for a couple weeks now. What's kind of the status on those guys as they've got a little more time to heal up?
Yeah, I tweet things all the time. That's I obviously heard about it, you know. As far as the players go, not much has changed, and you know, we'll see how this week goes. Don't anticipate, you know, you might have a few guys back that aren't that haven't been injured, had surgeries. Some of those guys that have just been dinged don't know that yet. But, you know, Dante, no. Dylan, no. Finley, no. Reese, obviously, no. You know, those guys. So we'll see about some of the guys that have had some dings, but I know it did help. And those guys that had some injuries were here, were still rehabbing. You know, we weren't practicing, but they were getting in the training room and trying to get themselves healthy.
When you face these option teams, and what is the message you guys give to your defense about the challenge they're going to face? And you know, you look at so many good teams are good against the run, it doesn't carry over. So what does it take to be good against these teams?
I tell them just to tackle the guy with the ball. That's as much as I know. That's Coach Yates' job. But no, this is one. They have very good speed. That's one thing that really shows up. You know, it's being disciplined. It's doing your job. You also have to be able to tackle in space. You got to make some one-on-one tackles. It's not always going to be 2 guys or 3 guys to the ball. There's going to be opportunities where you get one-on-one, which is what they're going to create. And you want to be able to make the one-on-one tackle. You want to have guys pursuing to the ball, so if it doesn't happen, at least it slows them down to get the tackle, eliminate the big plays. But really, it's doing your assignment. And you know, when you're playing a team that has multiple options of who gets the ball, you have to do your job, and they're counting on guys not to do their job. And that happens, and that's why they've won games and why they've been explosive and have made plays. So really it comes down to that. You got to win more of your battles of doing your job than not doing it. You know, from last season, you look at it, you know, you try to eliminate the explosive plays. And the first play of the game, they come out and hit it for a home run. You know, you want to eliminate that. And we've got to obviously work on those things this week and prepare to do that.
It was defense that won the game for them against Utah State Saturday. What is it that they're doing differently this year on defense?
I think they're just better. They got a little bit different scheme. They're a little bit different schematically, but they're just better. They're more physical. I think they've tackled better. And I say better. I haven't seen, you know, every one of their games throughout the year. I'm kind of going back to last year and the games I have seen. They've just gotten better. I think that's been a point of emphasis. I'm sure it always has been with Coach Davey, but guys are making more plays. You're probably seeing more guys to the ball. They've created some turnovers this year as well. So I think it's a combination. I don't know if it's just one thing. It never is. It's never just one thing. They're just playing better than they have been. And, you know, that just shows probably through their entire program, from the strength program, the off season, all that kind of coming together, and they're a better football team.
I think they had over 500 yards rushing in that game last year against you guys, and I think it was Chance James that made a 4th down stop with like 3 or 4 minutes left that they kind of gave you guys the ball back now. I know you touched on it, but what was not working? What was going wrong in that game there? You had that much success on the ground.
Yeah, again, like kind of the same answer I just had. It wasn't just one thing. Obviously, there were some missed tackles. There were some missed assignments. And really, it was those 2 things. And they've got guys that can take advantage of it. That's what showed up. They took advantage of it when we missed an opportunity. I think good football teams do that. They showed that. And that was really, you know, a lot of that was in the first half. I think the second half we made adjustments. We played better. And we were doing what we were supposed to be doing. And it just took some time to get that, for whatever reason, figured out. And we need to obviously do that a lot sooner than we did last year. And that's the that's the plan. You know, how do we stop it? Now they're doing some different things too. You know, they're not the same team. They've gotten better. They've thrown the ball better. So there's more to defend than what we saw last year. They've also improved on the offensive side as well.
When you've talked about Brett this year,
Pardon me?
When you've talked about Brett this year, you've said many times that he just sees what he needs to see out there on the field. And usually a guy that young, that's the big struggle, is being able to see things and recognize things and make the right decision. Why is it that he's been able to do that so quickly? And is that something you thought you had with him, or has he kind of showed that out in the games that maybe better than you thought?
Yeah, I've given you that answer because there's too much to explain how to get to that. I think that his preparation and understanding what we're trying to accomplish on the play has helped. I also think keys that he sees out there that a defense might show, he's looking for those type of things. But a lot of it comes down to, you know, what is hard to explain. There's some feel, and it's not just the quarterback position. It's really any position in sports. You know, people are good at what they do. There's kind of a feel to it, and it's always hard to explain. I think he's got a good feel. I think he's understands protections, where they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to do, along with the play we're trying to run. So it's a combination of a lot of different things. But ultimately, all that being said, it's about taking care of the football. And, you know, he's done a pretty good job of that. And that's really the one thing that, you know, we've talked about, taking care of the ball. We've eliminated a lot of sacks, you know, over the last couple games. Those things have helped us in field position and not having to dig our way out. So our third down percentage has gone up, and we need to continue that. And that's Coach Drinkwitz, that's Brett. You know, that's everybody just understanding, hey, here's the key ingredients we have to improve on. Here's how we do it, and really focusing on those things and making sure that they understand why it's important. And it showed up.
Getting back to the logos, two quarterbacks, they run in and out of the game. Maybe tell us what you think each of them brings to the table, and they probably run 3 or 4 running backs. What are the differences between them?
Yeah, Bob, I don't know all the differences between the two quarterbacks right now without spending more time studying, you know, more games. They obviously have a little bit different style, and they can run. They can run the system. They can, you know, one can throw maybe better. I mean, there's the reason why you have two quarterbacks in there. Usually, one does something a little bit better than the other, or has a better feel for a certain package of plays. I don't know, you know, how they're going to utilize them against us. I think every time you have that, when you have two quarterbacks in there, it all depends on what you're seeing from the defense. I don't think you just set out and say, we're doing this no matter what, this many plays, this many drives. It really depends on what they're seeing from us. And so what each one of them brings, I don't know. I know what they've done against other teams, but I also think we have a little bit different style than maybe what they've seen as well.
It's been over 90 dropbacks since you guys have allowed a sack. 2 straight games with none in that department. How has the offensive line and I guess the offense just in general been able to kind of prevent those negative situations or whatnot?
Yeah, just like I said, just focusing on it. Understanding that's an area that puts us in negative yardage situations. You know, it's hard to dig yourself out in first and second down if you have a sack. Then you're in third and long. I think seeing the production that we're able to have on third downs because of that, you know, not getting that situation. And then just growth. You know, I mean, it's growth in your O-line, your running backs, your quarterback. You know, as easy as it sounds, you don't just walk out there and say, don't take sacks, and everyone's figured it out. It takes time. You know, defenses are pretty good. They're attacking you a lot of different ways, and you've got to protect. And you've got to know who you're protecting and how you're going to protect and where the quarterback. There's just a lot of different things, and it just takes a little bit of time. And hopefully that continues. Hopefully we don't see many sacks and we can continue on the trend we've had, but it's been a point of emphasis. It has been since day one. We've just gotten better at it.
You guys have been pretty good on fourth down this year and fairly